which I know sounds like that doesn't make sense, but trust me, it does. And he also plays Link to the Past Randomizer as well. And I know Dklutie's been in the community for quite some time now, and has been on quite a hiatus from the game, I think, until this tournament came up and they started playing a lot more. So he's definitely like probably like 126, 125 capable, but hasn't made it there yet. I think he has a 127 though, so he's a very, very good runner.
And here we are, we've started up.
Yep, so I believe that Dklutie is on console, and we can see Chexhuman's on emulator. But yeah, not much to say really about Escape. Just kind of walk, save the princess, do a little bit of pumping, kill enemies, get some keys. Blah, blah,
Avoid
blah.
rats. Avoid rats and snakes, pretty much.
Very true.
Yeah, the less you have to swing your sword, the better the frames.
Very true.
Oh dear. The guards weren't really in Chex's favor.
Yeah, those guards outside can be jerks sometimes and get in your way. Dklutie had some pretty good RNG in that hallway, but fortunately for Chexhuman, he had all of them just kind of hanging up at the top, or hanging out at the top there.
Yeah, sometimes they control.
Alright, we have Chexhuman picking up some hearts here, or a heart I should say. Not a bad call, especially because they're going to be going up against the ball and chain guard soon, and he hits pretty hard, so the last thing you want to do is die to him.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to hug the ball and chain guard.
Yeah, he doesn't give very good hugs. Or they're too good, I don't know. They both had very nice, I guess, boomerang key guards, though.
Yeah, definitely. And they used two different strategies to kill the ball and chain guard. One used a pot and then did 4 swipes with their sword, and then Chex did 8 to do the finishing blow. So we just gotta retrace our steps for the next couple of rooms, and then after that, we get to see if the rats and the snakes are gonna be nice, or if they're going to just glomp, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, the bad part about Escape, I guess, is that you really lose most of your time in the back half of Escape. So once you get down to the sewers, you've got the last key rat who can, if he goes up into the northwest corner, can lose you about a second, I think. And then also the snakes, if you have to dodge them or swipe your sword at them or whatever. I mean, we're talking about frames here, but you know, it adds up with Escape, and it can be the difference between, you know, a 6-minute escape and a sub-6 escape. So that's what kind of sucks about it, is the RNG.
Yeah, and those few seconds that we start out with, if they start adding on to later parts of the run as well. Oh wow, that was amazing. There was just a nice path for DK.
Yeah, that was pretty friendly. That was a nice reaction there from Chexhuman. Just stunning the snakes so we can get by them. I think we mentioned this before, but pumping in water is really where I think you save the most time in escape from pumping. You actually walk quite slow in the water, so pumping just, I think it's even like, I want to say a second or two that you can save there. Maybe not that much, maybe I'm lying, but I think it's like pretty significant anyway.
Yeah, it makes a difference in the water for sure. Not so much on land, but like you were saying, the water frames matter.
Yep, so it was a nice escape from Dklutie. He got a, I think it was a 554 I saw.
Definitely sub 6.
Yes.
Sub 6, yeah.
And looks about like a 606 from Chexhuman.
Yeah, just,
so not very far apart.
No, 10 seconds. Good choice to grab that sand cart.
Yeah, for sure. So really the only thing that we have to watch out for in this walk to Eastern is the Octorok field. Everything else is pretty easy and pretty standard, so, but the Octorok field, if they get in your way or they hit you, can actually lose quite a bit of time.
Yeah, the boomerang can be your friend in this section.
Chexhuman had a pretty friendly Octorok field there.
Alright, so DK has entered Eastern Palace.
Yeah, and Chexhuman is close behind here. Pretty friendly cannonballs for Chexhuman as well. They usually, when they all stay on one side, it's pretty nice. He only had one that he had to dodge.
Yeah, that always psychs me out when they're all on one side because I'm always expecting them to be going in different directions.
Yeah, you're kind of always on guard in that room, like, okay, when's it gonna happen?
Yeah. So normally in this skeleton room, there's supposed to be 5 skeletons that come out, but people will land in a certain area just so that only 2 come out. Unfortunately, it looks like Chex was a little too far down, so got 3 instead of the 2. But still got her done regardless.
Yeah, and what we've already seen one difference here between the two is that Dklutie has skipped the safety arrows and Chexhuman has grabbed them. So this could help Chexhuman potentially gain a little bit of time, depending on what the drops look like for Dklutie in the rest of the dungeon.
What's a safe number of arrows to go into the boss fight with?
Well, you need at least 18. That's like the absolute minimum that you want. But I usually like having more than 20, 21 or more.
Yeah, you never know when the Armos can go rogue. so you always want to have a couple extra.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good good safety to have. Plus, you want to also have arrows for later on in the dungeon, like for desert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to be too low coming out of Eastern.
Yeah.
Very nice. Zelda gamer room there from Dklutie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that was very, very good. DK is gonna pick up, he's gonna pick up that 20 because they do need to collect at least 110 rupees for later on in the run. Very clean Armos fight there.
Yeah, that was very nice. Nice the gamer room from Chexhuman as well.
Yep, and also Chex has a good number of arrows to start it with too.
Yeah, for sure. DK has 27 rupees right now, which is a good spot to be in, because that means that he doesn't have to grab any of the blue drops when he's going for 3 rupees. And Chex just cleaned up that Armos fight really nicely.
Alright, and DK is able to go fast now with those boots, trying to set up super speed.
Yeah, meanwhile, Chex is just about to grab his boots here, and I'm not sure if he does 3 rupees or Sahasrara rupees, but I guess we'll find out in a second.
He's on the bottom corner, so it looks like he's just gonna scoot right back out. Oh, never mind. I eat my words.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have to worry about the tree poles, so he doesn't have that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to worry about bombs too much either, since he grabbed the bombs back there as well.
Oh, true, definitely.
Alright, Check's just grabbing his book here, and DK almost at desert.
Yeah, and you wanna, when you're in the desert area, you wanna set up so that those sand monsters don't come out and try and grab you there.
I believe their official name is Geldman.
Guildman.
Geldman. Sounds like a Seinfeld character or something.
DK picking up his small key, doing a nice speed dash to get that key dislodged from the torch. Meanwhile, Chex is just getting ready to open up desert. So they're only a couple of rooms away from each other at this point.
Yeah, and Landmo could potentially change all of that, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, Landmole can pop up anywhere, and if you get some good RNG, then you might be able to finish in 2 or 3 cycles. Sometimes it can be more than that, depending on your arrow aim as well.
both of them having nice cannonball RNG in this cannonball room as well, which definitely helps out. I mean, it sucks getting hit there or having to pause and restart your dash.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes if you are a little bit slower killing the popos, then they make it so that you have to stop just for a minute or just for a quick second.
DK has a very healthy amount of arrows here. 29 going into the fight is a good spot to be in. We'll see if Chex ends up grabbing more arrows or if he's going to stick with 25. For a long time, I would grab the extra 5 because Landmo is hard and it's hard to get arrows in sometimes, but you can definitely do it with 25.
Yeah, optimally, if you're able to get at least 2 hits each when they first do the first cycle, then you're in a good spot. Sometimes they're not that friendly.
Oh, unfortunately DK just missing that last Landmo there. I think that would have been a 4 cycle had he hit that one, but end up with an early 5. Still a good fight. Cleans up nicely, gets his pendant, and Chex is just opening up the wall here.
Yeah, we'll see how many cycles Chex goes through.
And he's opting not to grab the extra arrows, so we'll see if that helps him.
Well, there's one down. DK making his way over to do a water walk.
Alright, nice cleanup there from Chex, and he is finished with his Landmo fight and gets to make his way over to Hera now as well.
Yeah, and both of them faking the game into thinking that they have flippers.
So DK has the old man now. He walks pretty slow, but if you get close enough to that pit that you just saw DK walk by, you actually get back to, I think it's a normal walking speed. So it's just a little way to save a little bit of time. But you have to be careful because you don't want to fall into the hole either, because that will waste you time.
Yeah. And now we have the game of trying to avoid cabbages and dead rocks.
Probably one of the worst screens in the game, especially since you have to revisit it multiple times. His Death Mountain. It's just awful.
Yeah, if you try and dash with the old man, he goes even slower.
Yeah, he can't run. But I think he's actually the only follower that doesn't, because I believe Zelda can run, and the frog can definitely run, or the dwarf, I guess, whatever you want to call them. Blacksmith.
Yeah, the blacksmith runs. Yeah, the maiden in blind can run.
Oh yeah, her too. I forgot about her.
Ooh, DK looks like he's gonna attempt to do a boomerang dash. Not quite able to get the setup though, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a tough strat to do. It's a few inputs at once because you have to do an item dash while also holding a diagonal. And then you have to be able to cancel it at the right time so that you get on the pegs. And yeah, it's pretty rough. So he just opts to complete the room normally, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We may see different beetle room strats from these two as well. I know a lot of newer players opt to do what we call ACM beetles, which is just a safer strategy, a bit more consistent and easier to pull off than the optimal strat that we saw DK do.
DK is going to be doing our first bomb jump of the run.
Pulls it off, no problem.
Absolutely, yeah. Doing the dash into the wall is a little bit safer to do than trying and find the right pixel to stand on.
Yeah, for sure. You get much of a bigger window when you do the dash and the bonk. Now we're on everyone's favorite googly-eyed worm, or radioactive hamburger, I think some people call him too. Moldworm.
A little bit moldy for a hamburger, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty hairy.
Yeah.
That was a nice fight, though. That was a good one.
Yeah, very clean.
We got Chex hitting the safety switch, always a good option. There's a lot in this room that he's in now where he's going to do the bomb jump that can hurt you. This petting zoo, as we call it, then obviously you take intentional damage from the bomb jump. There's the Kodongos on the other side that are spit and fire. So it's just a dangerous room, and you don't want to go into Moldorm with low hearts.
No, and then if you fall down, then you've got all the beetles that could come and try and give you hugs. It's always nice to have a couple extra hearts to go in.
Yeah, for sure.
DK grabbing some rupees from the tree to set up so that the next tree that he pulls in the forest here will have 4 20s for him. Math is hard. 80.
Yes. I know, I was thinking that earlier when I said he doesn't need to grab any blues. I was like, but does he? And I was trying to add it all up in my head. Yeah. Math is hard. Alright, Chex finishing off Moldorm very nicely. He's got his red pendant. We'll be heading to the Master Sword. He doesn't have to do any of the tree pulls, so he will, I guess, it'll look like he'll gain a bit of time in this segment here, I guess, because he's not having to stop for either of those.
Yeah, I don't know. He might still grab the first tree pull just to make sure that he gets over the 110 mark.
There are 6 rupees in Aghanim's Tower in the Circle of Pots room that he should be grabbing, which will get him over that point, but there is always the option, you know, for extra safety to grab extra rupees beforehand. DK successfully getting all of his rupees. He now has more than enough for the rest of the game. Well, I guess after not including flippers, but you know.
Yeah, our favorite swindler up in the north.
Yeah.
$500 rupees for flip-flops. Man, oh man.
Yeah, I would never pay that much, but whatever, I guess if you have to. Chex doing my favorite thing, grabbing that Master Sword super high, not even touching the stairs. Saving all the frames.
Oh yeah, that's good. You can do that at Turtle Rock as well to save a few steps as well.
Yeah. DK doing the Pooey strat here. Pooey Nights, as we call it.
What?
It's
the Pooey Nights?
Pooey Nights, yeah. It's a strategy that was found by a Japanese runner named Pooey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Chex grabbing the mushroom.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, DK did not grab the mushroom, so Chex is gonna be getting some fake powder, or some powder, not fake powder, but powder.
Real powder.
Real powder. So the ball and chain guard room there, the way I had seen it being done before was hugging the wall and doing your spin to get them done. Is this now a faster way to do it?
Yeah, the Pooey strat is faster. It does require you to use arrows though, so if you don't have many arrows, it's not usually a good strategy to go for. And then some people also are just afraid of, because you can mess up that strategy if you poke a guard or you know, if you don't, you have to oh my god, I can't talk. Manipulate the right one from coming down a little bit so that you can pin them against the railing. There's like a lot of little things about it, so it definitely takes some practice. And so some people prefer to just do Din Din because it's easy and it's consistent and it's just simple. So, but the Pooey Knights, I think, save, I want to say it's close to 4 seconds. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh wow.
But I think it's pretty good time save.
Yeah, and you can see there that Chex did actually do the one strategy that I was talking about, so 2 different strats.
Alright, here comes the moment of truth. Will I gonna be nice or not?
There's 1 blue ball so far.
So yes, Pooey Gold Knight saves 1.5 seconds, not 4, like I stated. I think I was probably thinking of 3 rupees. Alright, not bad from DK. Was that only 1 blue ball, or was that 2?
I saw 1. So that was really smooth and really good. Let's see if Chex has the same luck coming in here.
DK is having a really good light world right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on PB pace, actually. There's Chex getting what I think is his first blue ball. Hopefully that's the only one.
Yeah, they have a 50-50 chance of getting a blue ball or the one that they can ricochet back to Aghanim, so far so good, just the one. I don't want to curse it or anything. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Commentator's curse as always.
Oh no. I'm just gonna stop.
Although I think that that's all that he's gonna get. 3 is average. And usually what am I gonna say? If you only get 3 up until that last lightning, then you know that after the next lightning it's gonna be another energy ball. So you're guaranteed to get out of it.
Yep, so Chex has entered the Dark World. Meanwhile, DK is heading through Palace of Darkness. He's already gone in and grabbed the first batch of keys. Now gonna get the big key.
Yep, and then he'll be making his way over to do the hammer jump. Arguably one of the tougher strategies in the game, but with his experience he shouldn't have any problem, knock on wood. Oh, and he goes for the 2-bomb pickup, which it's a little bit tougher because it gives you a little bit less time to actually get in position versus just grabbing 1 bomb under the pot. Very nice, makes it over. And a little known fact, I guess, is that when you enter pod for the first time, dashing up and then left is about the same as walking up and dashing left. And most of that is just because you want to get into a good position, and it's a lot easier to get into a good position to dash up through the door. It's easier to get into a good position if you walk up, and then you can get yourself underneath the switch a lot easier. Unless you're just really, really good at dash canceling.
It's always nice to be as precise as you can be, though, consistently.
Yeah, for sure. The menu in pod is a lot easier to navigate when you have the mushroom in your inventory, since you're doing a lot of going to the mirror, and the mushroom in the corner just makes it so much simpler than having to wrap around the menu. So that's a nice thing about having the mushroom here. Easy menus.
Yeah, sometimes when you don't have as many of the items, it's always trying to figure out what's the easiest way to get to the item they actually want. DK coming in to Helmazar King, keeping his sword out so that he doesn't accidentally get crushed by Helmazar if it goes south.
Yep, also holding out the sword like that extends the hammer's hitbox, which allows you not to get too close to Helmazar, which nobody wants to get that close to Helmazar.
No, pretty much everybody in this game, you don't really want to get a hug from them.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage. Alright, Check's coming up on the Mimics room here. I'm not really sure what strategy he does.
Looks like it's the standard one. I know some people like to get the green ones out of the way first before going up to the red Igor, or not the Armos Knight.
Mimics.
Wow, Mimics.
Just name every enemy
Just
in the game. You'll
name
get there
them all.
eventually. Yeah, also killing the red one last. This is just a very little thing, but I remember Zelda mentioning this once, but killing the red one last actually gives you a chance for an arrow drop out the door. So as you're dashing at the door, you could grab the arrows, which you do want more arrows, you know, throughout the game. So that's also a nice little thing.
Absolutely, yeah, I like that. DK doing a really good hammer dash there. I try to hammer dash. It's hard.
Same. Alright, so we got Chex fighting Helmasaur now. Hopefully Helmasaur is kind to him, but we've already got some fireballs being thrown out here. Oh, he was going for hammer strats too. Nice. So those fireballs will always explode in, they'll always explode clockwise. And so really all you have to watch out for is which one explodes first, because then you know it's going to go clockwise from there. Also, DK getting a second try dig. Shoutouts to my 5 dig at one time.
Oh boy.
Yeah! Ooh, missing that spin speed. There's something about the spin speed that DK's doing that I feel like, you know, you get in this screen and it's either you miss it or you think you have it but you actually don't. And I don't know what it is about it, but it's like it can never get it first try. And DK here is going for this spin speed. I think it saves about 10 frames if you do it well, which he pulled off very nicely.
Yeah, that area there with those blue guards, really, really hard to do good dashes without getting hugged.
Yeah, that screen definitely takes practice, which is a screen you'd think, like, why would I need to practice this one small screen? But yeah, to get through it like he did does take some practice. Ooh, unfortunately getting a skull rock in the bush. I never know what to call them.
Yeah, I don't know. Skull pots. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you get them when you're trying to dash through all those bushes as well, so...
Yeah, and unfortunately...
It wasn't there.
Oh, sorry.
At least it wasn't there.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, those are just kind of something that just happens. I think the drop chances in the bushes and the grass are 50-50, I want to say. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, like, you can just get unlucky there and just get a skull in a bush. First try dig for Chex. Doing pretty good. I believe he's going to be stopping off for the powder though, so we will see a bit of a gap coming up here. Oh, it looks like DK got the hellway. Very nice.
Ooh, that was good, yeah. You gotta get yourself in just the right position so you can dash all the way up through all those anti-fairies.
Am I allowed to call it the hellway? Should I be calling it the heckway or something?
The harmless way.
There you go.
The heck all. Heck y'all.
Heck y'all.
Chex picked up some powder, so now Chex will be able to anti-fairy, or powder the anti-fairies to get some fairies. Depending on how some of the enemies go after him, it'll be really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Powder's a really great safety. Well, that's an interesting way to do that screen. It's actually pretty good. The apple bapple screen, the 3 blue guards.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta walk through that. DK heading into blind, and he'll be able to. He knows exactly how blind is going to move, so this should be a quick kill. He's got to do 3 hits for each of the heads that come out here. And as long as he still has them up in the top part of the screen, he's done really well. So that was a great fight.
That was a very nice fight, very clean. He's having a really good run.
He did one earlier this afternoon, so he's already less rusted, whatever the opposite of rusty is.
Yeah, had a little bit of practice earlier,
Warmed up.
Yeah.
He's warmed up.
There you go.
Let's see how Chex does in this this heck hall.
Oh
wow!
Nice.
Got a little bit of lag, which maybe was good for him at the same time.
Yeah, unfortunately those enemies can create some lag in that room, but it's all good. You got through it. No damage.
Yeah, that was really smooth. DK picking up 300 rupees, so just shy of just a little bit more to get 500, so that he can go and get flippers soon. I'd like to know how the dwarf wound up in the Dark World.
That's a good question, and I'm sure the game probably says something about it, but I haven't played the US version in probably 20 years, so I don't know.
I don't think it does.
Really?
Yeah, I think it just said, "I just found myself here. Can you please take me back?"
Oh, wow. That's interesting then. Maybe he found a warp or something and ventured into it and couldn't get back.
He found a crack in the wall, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, DK has his tempered sword. Meanwhile, Chex will be fighting blind just a bit. DK also getting the fence dash. That's good for some swag points.
Yeah, DK just picked up all the rupees that he needs for the rest of the run. And Chex is starting blind. Let's see how this fight goes for blind.
Hopefully not well for blind.
Well, you never know. You don't know what Blind's backstory is.
It's true. Wow, very nice fight from Chex there. That was textbook.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, that was a very good mummy statue room from DK. Very, very clean. Oh, unfortunately getting hit by one of the mini mold worms there. Not a huge deal though, it only puts him down one more heart, which he should be fine for the rest of the dungeon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, depending on how our Gibdo dance goes.
Yeah. Ooh, that, I don't know, going underneath the ropa like that made me a little bit nervous, but he did okay. It looks like he's gonna do the optimal strat here in the mummy hellway, the mum way. Very, very nice.
Switched over to mirror, so it looks like he's not planning to use any fire.
Yeah, fire can be useful in this fight for sure, because it helps get Mothula away from the spikes since the spikes don't do any damage to Mothula, and although utilizing poke dashes also accomplishes, I guess, what fire accomplishes a little bit. You can at least get a hit in.
Yeah, as long as you don't poke dash into a spike or one of his sonar flames.
That was very nice Skull Woods from DK. And we've got Chex just heading into the woods part of Skull Woods. I guess it's also the skull part of Skull Woods too, since that's where all the skulls are. Oh, unfortunately, I hate when this happens. Sometimes when you go to grab the statue, you don't actually grab it, and Link just kind of like dashes away from it. I'm not really sure what causes that to happen, but it's super annoying when it happens, and it happens to pretty much everybody. So he, quick thinking from Chex there, pulling out his boomerang just to stun those mummies and get them out of the way so he can do the room cleanly.
Yeah, I still recovered really well. So we've got Chex just doing another bomb jump to get the fire rod, and DK making the trek up to grab Quake in flippers.
Alright, Check's getting close to Mothula here. We'll see how he handles the Mumway. Ooh, getting close to falling in the hole there, but makes it out okay. Looks like he's gonna opt to just kill everything in the room, which is definitely a good strategy. You just don't want to have to deal with any of them. And they also have a chance to drop full magic, which some people like to have for Mothula.
Yeah, it looks like Chex will be going into this fight with maybe one fire rod shot.
Very nice. And we got DK now entering Ice Palace. Well, in a minute here, he'll enter Ice Palace. I mean, I've said it every time I've commentated, I think, but I hate this dungeon.
Link on ice.
Coming to an arena near you. The good thing though is that DK's got more than enough bombs here to do everything he needs to do in this dungeon. I think he actually came in with more than he needed, but
oh yeah, definitely.
It's always nice to have extra.
Yeah, and this stealth floater will drop a couple. Oh, but he's not going to go get them anyway.
Ooh, gets the free drop though in in the conveyor room. Nice bomb jump there as well.
Yeah, hardest bomb jump to set up out of all of the ones that they do. Oh, I guess the hammer jump. Hammer jump is pretty hard too.
Yeah. I find Ice Palace bomb jump harder to set up just because you don't really... I mean, you can buffer it, but I feel like it's just easier to buffer hammer jump than Ice Palace bomb jump, but I'm probably sort of alone in thinking that.
Yeah.
Alright, Check's getting his medallion here, and he'll be on his way to getting flippers. Meanwhile, DK heading into Cold Stare in a second here.
Yeah, so if DK is able to set it up, he'll be able to do all of the 8 hits on the ice block here to get the puff balls, and then do a couple of spins and off.
Ooh, yeah, he
wow,
went for
that
poke spins.
Exactly that. As long as they can get up into the corner there, then you can get all 3 all together, so you can get all the hits in all at once. Otherwise, if they start going all over the place, then you have to watch out for them and the ice blocks that are falling. At least it's not on ice.
That's true. Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine. I just got like anxiety from that thought. But yeah, it's definitely a fight that can go very wrong very quickly. Just, you know, one misspin or, you know, not being in the right position, and the puffs can just kind of disperse away from each other, then you're chasing them all around. So this is a fight that's either really quick or not quick at all.
And painful, yes, because
yes,
the powder can really hurt. Especially since this is the dungeon that you would normally get your blue mail upgrades, so they do, I think, 3 or 4 hits of damage on you. Not fun.
Yeah, I think the falling ice, I want to say the falling ice is 3, and I think the puffs do 4. It's something ridiculous like that. It's such a hard-hitting boss. DK heading into Swamp. I don't know, but a lot of people consider the dungeon pretty easy. Which, I mean, it is for the most part. There's just a lot of RNG in this dungeon that you have to watch out for and you have to react well to. Otherwise, you're gonna get hit or waste time trying to dodge stuff. So that's definitely something that you learn, I guess, at a more advanced level, is all the different kinds of RNG in this dungeon.
Yeah, plus it's a long dungeon too. It's not that fun. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I don't really like it that much either. Chex is coming up on the Ice Palace bomb jump here. Hopefully it goes well for him. Very nice bomb jump from Chex there.
Yeah, he used his sword to set that one up, whereas DK used the hammer. Both effective strategies.
And Chex opting not to take the damage boost here on this giant spike. Definitely always a good option, because having hearts for Cold Stare is much better than having no hearts for Cold Stare. Well, less hearts, I should say. If you have no hearts for Cold Stare, you're dead. But definitely better to have more hearts than not.
So Chex heading into Cold Stare.
Very nice
another perfect fight.
So I guess we just saw the two different fights there between these two runners. Chex opting for the 6-slash and DK doing the poke dashes and the spins. Both good strats, and they both pulled them off very, very nicely.
DK bonking a little bit off of that one block. So it kind of goes to show how easy it can be to lose control of your dashing, and how easy it can be to bonk sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. There's always times where you think you canceled it, but the game says otherwise.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, no, you know what? Let's just do that. Alright, DK, let's hookshot it up.
Oh man, taking some damage there. Ooh.
Oh.
That's a rough little segment there, trying to get past all the stuff that's coming at you. The Tektites and the water bubble thing and the laser. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, taking lots of damage here from the water Tektites.
Yeah, that one water Tektite that was right in the doorway there messed the dash up.
All right, now we got DK in. Argus, ooh, looks like he was going for the 0 cycle, but ended up dropping it there, so he's just gonna opt to do the regular fight. Hopefully he can still get a 1 cycle, although there's lots of puffs left. Oh no, he's close to dying here. Let's hope that he can stay alive. Not that it's easy to die to Argus, but it's definitely possible, and we saw it last tournament actually from a runner of DK's level as well. But it looks like he's gonna make it out okay.
Yeah, his original 0 cycle strat would have worked, but I think he was probably a little bit nervous having only 5 hearts going into it.
And of course, the Swamp Maiden talks for the longest amount of time. This whole cutscene from the time you catch the crystal until the sword, Link sword, is up in the air is 55 seconds. So if it feels like forever, it's because it is forever.
So the second dungeon has the longest text, like vanilla.
Yeah.
Chex did a really interesting dodge there to dodge the laser there.
DK had a very, very clean Death Mountain. He got up there, no problems, no damage. So that puts him in good shape for Meyer, as long as the Ice Rod overworld goes well.
I don't see it being too much of a problem. The crabs are a little bit easier to predict than dead rocks and
Cabbage?
Yeah.
Boulders? Whatever.
Boulders, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And the good thing is the crabs also drop hearts, or have the chance to drop hearts. So if you do end up hitting one in the face, you can just farm them for hearts.
DK just dropping bombs.
Yeah, he just had a bit too many. You really only want 1 in Meyer, because when you bomb the floor in the basement, it then auto cycles to the fire rod as long as you don't have powder, and then you can just hit the switch down there with the fire rod instead. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. I know that's probably like confusing to visualize if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it is just like a very small optimization.
Yeah, saves a few frames. Saves having to menu.
Whoa, we're actually getting a bird toss from DK. That was surprising. I didn't know that he was up with that meme.
And Chex is also down to 2 hearts here for Argus.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here as well. But he's taking it safe for sure, which is a good way to go. Very nice. Makes it out alive. Alright, so DK's torch time here is a good indicator of the kind of pace that he is on. For really good players, they can finish the game in about 20 minutes from their torch's time in Mire. So if he had a 106.40-ish, then that means that with a really, really good endgame, he could get a 126.40-ish run here. Other players, myself included, can do it in probably about 21 minutes. So usually, yeah, when you get to that point, you know kind of approximately what kind of pace they're on. So yeah, keep watch of DK because we may actually see a PB from him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. And it looks also like Check's got some good RNG for the Death Mountain as well, going up there. So DK is now heading into the second half of Mire. We'll be going into some dark rooms using the cane to get a little bit further. Gotta push down a block here.
That block is the worst in the game, in my opinion. It feels like it's just the tiniest hitbox ever to get it in the right spot.
Imagine doing it lampless.
I would never be able to. Alright, so here's the strategy we were talking about earlier. DK dropping his bomb, it auto cycles to the fire rod, then he can just, oh, unfortunately, fire rodding up instead of to the left. But he'll go back in, do it again. That's essentially what you want to see when he fire rodded to the left, not up. So it saves the menu and also saves having to walk over to the switch and back again.
That's good, yeah. So he'll be going into this fight with just he's missing 2 hearts. The yeah, the hugs from the eyeballs. The jelly there does much less damage than the eyeballs, so he's using some iframes to be able to avoid getting hit by those eyeballs as best he can.
Yeah, I think the eyeballs do 4 hearts of damage or something ridiculous, so they really pack a punch. And in a boss where you're intentionally taking damage in order to kill it, it's a mess. And this fight is just hard in general. I mean, if you're down to low hearts in this kind of a fight and you've got the eyeballs flying at you, you've got lightning going, it's scary, basically. But he definitely cleaned that up very nicely.
Yeah, definitely. I think I saw a death already. It's not an easy room.
No, it really isn't. This is a nice thing. I think this is probably one of the biggest hurdles to dropping powder for a lot of players is Vitreous, because it is scary. I mean, if you go in there, you have to make sure you get through the dungeon without taking much damage. And you also have to make sure that when you're fighting the boss that you only take a certain amount of damage so you don't die. So having powder at the end of the dungeon is nice since there's an anti-fairy right before the boss. You can fill up there and then you can take all the damage that you need. Or you just have that extra buffer just in case you do take a lot of damage. So that's definitely a big case for taking powder in this game is the Vitreous fight.
So we're gonna see DK opening up Turtle Rock. We'll see what the time is for when he enters. Meanwhile, Chex is getting ready to pick up his King of Samaria.
Oh no! Chex doesn't have the big key.
Oh, he missed it. You know, I was thinking when he lit the torches, I was like, was he supposed to pick up that key that was in the drop down? But I was thinking, I've been watching too much randomizer, so I don't know. But yeah.
Shoot, I totally missed that. Yeah. Fun fact though, that's something that our good friend Scrivo has done before. He was making fun of Canada during a race with some people, and as he was making fun of Canada, he just dashed right on by that chest, and I was like, that's karma. That's what you get for making fun of Canada.
Who makes fun of Canadians?
I know, right? It's just because he's jealous, I think, but whatever.
Probably, yeah. We do have a lot to offer.
Exactly. So, Chex, though, coming back for the big key, makes it through pretty good. He knew what to do, which is good. He knew where to go, so he didn't get lost or anything on the way. DK, though, in the roller room there, tried to do the damage boost, but ended up getting caught and took a little bit more damage from the rollers. So hopefully he gets his fairy drop here or soon. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, good, yeah. Yep.
Ooh, getting hit by the chomps, though. Ooh, twice. But makes it out alive, that's the most important thing. Not that a chomp's death is really that costly, but it definitely, I think, would have ruined his PB pace that he is maybe on right now.
Yeah, his time is really, really good. Yeah, I would have definitely tried to relight the torches.
Yeah, I probably would have too, and I think that's what Scrivo did when that happened to him as well. And then he was like halfway through it and was like, wait, why am I relighting these?
So it's not as much of a time loss as I thought, because I thought that you'd have to relight the torches, wait another 40 seconds for the whole room to move around.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thankfully it's not that bad, but yeah. Very nice pokey 2 room from DK there, and Chex coming up on the Vitreous fight. We'll see how he handles the fight here.
Very clean so far. Just a few more arrows to the eyeball. Awesome.
Very nice fight.
Yeah, it looks like he got 1 hit on himself.
Oh no, DK taking a death. Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, was that to a beetle or to the eye?
You know, I missed
the laser. Yeah, it's to the laser.
Must have been the laser, yeah. That is unfortunate. The lasers do 4 hearts of damage, and he didn't have very much after taking a couple hits to chomps. So, unfortunately, yeah, that's quite a time loss. Any PB that he was on that pretty much seals his fate that PB is probably not possible anymore. But he's had a very, very fantastic run up till this death here, so he should at least be proud of that and know that, you know, he could probably be on 126 pace again soon. Hopefully not against me though, please.
This closes the gap a little bit for Chex. So that's a perfect example of how sometimes even in this caliber of a race, something could happen.
Ooh, getting another fairy drop though, that was lucky.
Yeah, I thought the fairy drop was based on the number of enemies that you've killed after getting another fairy.
I think that the pokies actually count for 4 each, like 4 enemies each. I think like each ball counts for 1, I want to say. I don't know a whole lot about prize packs, to be honest. I probably should have them memorized by now, but I just have not done that. I rely on other people to tell me the answers.
I mean, it makes sense for each individual Pokeball, not Pokemon reference, to be one enemy, because they do make a different poof when they die, so. Okay, DK, go out the door. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, from what I gathered, people saying in the chat is that he had actually bombed that wall but did not exit it. So therefore, when he took the death, he ended up back at the beginning of the dungeon. Ooh, unfortunately not getting past the peg far enough. But that's okay, that's just a minor time loss. Chex is opting to mirror out of the roller room, which is, it's about, when I tested it anyway, it was about 5 seconds slower than rolling out and going through the rollers.
Roll away.
Yeah. Then taking the damage boost through the rollers and dashing out. But it's definitely a very good safe strat. I mean, if you don't want to take more damage, I mean, Chomp's coming up is scary. They can definitely kill you pretty easily within a couple of hits even. So mirroring out is still a good strat. One of our oldest runners anyway, ACMLM. Oldest has been around the longest, not by age, but he still mirrors out of that room as well. He just says, you know, it's not worth it to take the damage, and so he opts to mirror out. So it's good enough for ACM, it's good enough for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if it's saving you a couple of hearts of damage.
Yeah, the rollers, I think, do 4 hearts of damage. So, well, most things in Turtle Rock honestly do 4 hearts of damage. The pokies, the lasers, these floating skull heads that you'll see in the room where Chex is, and the rollers. So this dungeon hits really hard. And so definitely mirroring out is a good option for a lot of people, because taking 4 hearts of damage on one thing is pretty intense.
Alright, so DK cleaned up Chinex. Very clean textbook fight that we just saw there. And is now going to be opening up Ganon's tower to do the tower climb. Check's not too far behind, going through the back half of Turtle Rock.
So Ganon's Tower, in my opinion, is probably one of the more fun dungeons, but it is definitely very difficult. There's a lot of rooms that you need to really execute well in order to come out of the dungeon with a good time. Gauntlet also is pretty tough because there's a lot of RNG and you have to know how to react to it and what to do if things go wrong. Also, you're refighting all the Light World bosses. They can be hard to do. So, and then there's Aghanim 2 at the very end, which can either be a disaster or it can go really well. So this dungeon is definitely difficult. The difficulty is ramped up quite a bit here. But with somebody of DK's level, he should be able to do really well here. Check's coming up on the try next fight. Not too far behind DK here.
Yeah, Chex will have no problem finishing off Trinex. Armos on ice over here on DK's side.
Coming to an arena near you.
Coming to a dungeon near you.
I really hope there's no dungeons near me. That would be scary.
Picking up some arrows on the way. Gotta make sure you got enough arrows. Coming up through the gauntlet makes getting rid of some of these pesky mimics much easier.
I believe that arrows are actually required for these red mimics here.
Yeah, for the red mimics. Yeah.
But it is definitely nice to have lots of arrows for gauntlet, because it's nice to be able to kill some enemies with the arrows.
Yeah, Stalfos, even some of the walking lizards.
Oh, the horse heads.
The horse heads, yeah.
I never in my life have I ever thought a lizard looked like a horse or vice versa, but in The Link to the Past, it's possible.
It's so hard just because the graphics are so tiny. For the longest time, I didn't even know what Sahastral I was wearing. I just learned recently that he's wearing a cowboy hat, so...
Yeah. And a lot of people with Aghanim thought that he had like a haircut that was covering his eyes and his mouth was always open, but it's really like a hat that he's wearing and his eyes are like... I don't know. There's like pictures on the internet about this, about the comparison between what they thought they saw from Aghanim and what Aghanim actually looks like.
Oh man, those would be gold.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Oh, we're getting word now that Chexhuman is on huge PB watch. So let me take a look and see if I can see what kind of pace he's on.
His PB is 135, so...
I don't know if I can read this timer very well. It looks like he's got a few golds this run though, which is really nice. I think
it looks...
See, 9 seconds behind. I think that's plus 9 seconds.
Yeah, he's got a really, really good pace on his timer.
Yeah, if he just has a good Ganon's Tower, then he could definitely save a lot of time here and be on PB pace.
Yeah, not to mention if he gets some good RNG from Aghanim 2 as well, that will help.
Okay, Chex falling into Ice Armos, and DK fighting Moldorm, too.
The Reckoning.
Yes.
Or something. I don't know.
Accurate.
Good setup there to zoom right through all those bumpers.
Yeah, that room can really go sideways if you just like get hit by something and get off course. One of the best things to do probably if that happens is to pull out one of your medallions and use it just to kill everything in the room so you can get out quick and easy. Otherwise you're fighting mini helmets, you're fighting bumpers, you're fighting spikes, you're fighting ice, there's conveyors, it's just like too much.
Everything all at once. I just want to throw as much in your way as possible in this dungeon.
Yeah, definitely.
As hard as possible.
DK getting a nice 3-cycle. Nice 3-cycle Agatu there.
So he'll be dropping in to fight Ganon at just on the 128 mark.
Yeah, so with a good Ganon fight, he could get a 129 here, but he may also get like a low 130 depending on warps and things like that.
Yeah, depending on where Ganon ends up plopping his bacon.
Yeah, this bacon I would not want to eat.
No. It might be a little sandy.
Ew, yeah. So Chex stopped off for fairies in the, I don't know, fairy room, refill room, whatever you want to call it, which gave him beams for Gauntlet. Sometimes can be helpful, but sometimes can actually work against you. But he seems to be making good use of them here.
And it looks like DK was able to pull off the one torch glitch swimmingly. So we just got a few more hits on Ganon and he will have it made.
Yep, he's having a really good fight here. I think he's gonna get a high 129. GG to DK. That was a very, very nice run.
$129.56 is DK's time. Good game, DK.
Very nice. So, Chex just not very far behind here, coming up on the last few rooms of Ganon's Tower. We'll see. Hopefully Agatu is nice to him. In this game, you do not require the silver arrows in order to fight Ganon. You can, if you time your spins precisely with the tempered sword, you actually can do damage to Ganon. So it's kind of like as he's warping, you can spin and kill him, or spin and damage him, sorry, and eventually kill him. It takes 12 spins with the tempered sword, and you can actually also do it with the master sword, and that takes 24 spins. So
it's a pretty precise trick.
I think we're joined by DK now.
Hi guys.
Hello,
Hey.
DK. Congratulations.
Yeah, GG on the run.
Well, you know, it could have been a lot better if I wouldn't have died to the freaking laser beam to the face, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was a little sad.
Yeah.
It
I don't know
happens.
why I thought that I could bomb the door and then not go through it, and like, if I was to die, not go through, like, I would just respawn there for some reason. I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but
Oh, yeah. You gotta go through the door.
yeah, we know that now. It's been a while since I've played, so still learning, still relearning those little nuances.
Sometimes it's the best way. Sometimes it's the best way to learn.
Yeah, for sure.
You
But
did have a really solid run overall, though. How are you feeling about the rest of the run?
I felt really good. I definitely think that having the first run under my belt definitely calmed like the nerves. But I felt like the gameplay was a lot better. I felt like it was a lot more solid and more fluid. I didn't have a chance to check torch time or anything like that, but I felt like I was on pretty good pace up until dying.
Yeah, it was about a mid 106 torch time, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm happy with it. I was a little salty after the death, but anytime you can sub 130 with the death, it's always a good time. So
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Emma, you better watch out. I'm just
I was like, man, he could definitely get a 126, and then you died, and I was like, oh crap. I was like, he's definitely capable of getting a 126 again, but it better just not be against me.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to schedule anyways, but
Yeah.
how scared of Emmatron am I? Honestly, I told her that she was going to I was probably going to drop one to her, so that's definitely going to be a really interesting race for sure, because I know that she's capable of PVing anytime, and I feel like I'm getting to the point where any run it could happen for me as well, so if we both play pretty solidly, it'll be really close.
Just double PBs for both of us. That would just be.
I would be happy with that.
Good. Yeah. Couldn't be mad about that.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
We did talk about it, and if one of us dies, the other person's just gonna pause until they get back to that point. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Chex looks like he's about to PV actually. So.
Yeah, he is for sure. He's in the 3rd stage here. Just has a couple more hits to go for Ganon. His PB is just over 135, so...
Nice.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I mean, obviously I have the restream just to hear audio and stuff like that, but it seems like he's had a really solid race. I have been kind of poking in on his stream to see where he's at, to make sure I'm ahead or whatever, but...
Yeah, he has had a lot of smooth boss fights.
Yeah, he's been having a pretty solid run.
Speaking of boss fights, I can't believe that Vidi fight. I poked 2 eyeballs, and somehow
Still didn't die.
Well, I didn't realize this, but if you are on the right-hand side and you kill an eyeball with like a spin, you have frames where you can actually damage Vidi. So I only shot him with 5 arrows, and he died.
Yeah, that's.
I had no idea.
Yeah, if you ever need to, for whatever reason, save arrows after Mire, that's like a strategy, I guess, is to spin Vitreous, and then you don't have to use as many arrows. You can even charge a spin as you're firing arrows, and then you only have to fire 7, and then you could just spin them on the last one.
Oh, what? He didn't PV?
No, he's off by a couple seconds. 135.18.
He has
still a really good time though.
Yeah, he's got 4 golds this run, so he definitely played really well. Only 15 seconds off of his PB. So I mean, that's even something to be really proud of, is getting that close to your PB during a race, a tournament race of all things.
But yeah, I think a really good overall race from myself. I think a really good overall race from Chex, and like I said, it'll be really interesting to see how everything goes with Emma here. Probably we'll have to schedule that here in the next week or so, and it should be a really fun one to watch.
Hopefully.
Or it could be an absolute disaster for both of us, and it'll be 150s for the two of us.
We'll both be so nervous that we'll just like die everywhere, and we'll get like 140s, and it'll ruin our chances in the brackets. And if we make it there,
I mean, my goal was to make it past groups, and it seems like that should probably happen after this. So definitely coming back and starting to play again, and kind of reaching the goal that I had set out is a really good accomplishment. I'm happy with that. I'm proud of that, and just take one day at a time. Just continue to do runs, continue to get more consistent with strats, and I mean, the ultimate goal here is to have fun and to just showcase your talents and showcase what the game has to offer. So
yeah, it's all about having fun for sure. How did you do in your race earlier today?
I was really so I guess comparing the two runs, I had really kind of sloppy segments. Never died though, and I felt like I played a lot solid throughout the entire game today. Well, I guess this run, and just the time loss came from a death instead of just kind of losing
execution.
Yeah, kind of just losing seconds here and there. So 128.28 first run, 129.56 with the death this second run. So I mean, I'm just knocking on the door, just trying to get a better time. So it'll be the first time since Christmas of 2016, so a little over 2 years. So
wow.
Yeah.
Looks like we're joined now by Chexhuman as well. Welcome, Chex.
Thanks, GG.
Nice
GG.
run.
Thank you.
I saw you got 4 golds. Crazy.
Yeah. I've been saving golds when I complete a run, and I don't always complete a run. I mean, I've been saving splits whenever I complete a run. Yeah.
Dude, it seemed like I was kind of peeking in here and there, and it seemed like everything was really solid. I'm surprised that you didn't PB.
There was an incident.
What happened?
I was distracted during Mire. A cat fight broke out in my room during the torches, and I yelled to get them out and shut my door. But when I shut my door during the Mire wall sequence, and then regained focus sort of after the big key, so I forgot to pick up the big key.
Oh my gosh,
that's
no.
how we were wondering what happened there.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that you were within 15 seconds of your PB with that kind of mistake, I guess. Like, that's really good.
I'm happy with my gameplay otherwise, but sometimes things happen.
Oh, for sure. Well, you're definitely due for a PB, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely your next game, your next couple of games, you'll get a PB for sure.
Cool.
If it makes you feel any better, Chex, I spilled a drink into my lap and dropped my controller during the Ice Armos fight last run, so...
Yikes.
It was
That's a sticky situation.
Definitely interesting for sure. But no, man, I think it just seems like, you're like right on the cusp of a pretty big PB. And then when you PB, you probably should get rid of that powder.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, and I mean with 4 PBs and stuff like that, it seemed like you're on sub 2.9 even with powder and all that good stuff. So you drop that, you should be right there pretty quick.
Perhaps. I'm still studying rooms and stuff. So we'll see.
But yeah.
All right. Well, good race from both of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty maxed out. I think I need to go take a nap or something because I've been playing for about 5.5 hours now. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, GG,
anyways,
nice run.
Yep, good to see you guys, and Emma will be in touch to schedule that race.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, take care, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Trix. Bye.
GG.
So anything more you want to say, Chex, about your run or the race or your future in the tournament?
Not, nothing comes to mind. Just happy to participate.
Perfect. Well then, I guess that does it for us. You guys had a really great race. It was really fun to watch. We were holding out hope that you would PB, but I think you're definitely way up there on the PB watch. We'll be watching it for you next time. And yeah, I think actually coming up tonight, we've got more races at 6:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Eastern Time, and 10:30 Eastern Time over on Speed Gaming 3. So still lots of NMG today if you want to watch more, if you're not sick of it yet. There's lots to come. So I want to thank you guys for your great race. I want to thank everybody for watching, and thank you to B-Links for the commentary as well. It was her first time, and I think she did fantastic.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me on commentary, Emma.
Not a problem. It was my pleasure. But yeah, thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you later.
Have a wonderful rest of everybody's day and evening.